Hi, today we'll see in details this vibrating diaphragm pressure sensor. So I have found first the patent corresponding to this sensor. So you can see the number of the patent. You can find easily this patent on internet, this number here. This is a US patent. So you can see on the bottom of this page the schematic. So there is an amplifier here which permits to drive the coil. So there is the coil which is closed to the magnet, and there is a dummy coil which is identical to that coil. The second leg of the bridge here permits to compensate the excitation voltage. If there is a movement of the diaphragm, there will be a voltage between these 2 points. So this voltage is fed to the amplifier, and the amplifier will drive the coil. So depending on the phase and the gain, you can have an oscillation. So the voltage between these 2 points is amplified and then is fed to a counter. The resonant frequency depends on the pressure applied to the diaphragm. Actually, the difference of pressure between the internal pressure and the outside pressure. I have found also something very interesting is the service manual of an air data computer, which is very close to this one. The sensors in any case are the same. So there is a small block diagram of the sensor here. So you can see that we have these 2 resistors and the 2 coils, the drive coil and the dummy coil. This is the equivalent schematic of the vibrating diaphragm. The secondary side of the transformer is fed to an amplifier. The output of the amplifier is fed to the drive circuit, and this permits the oscillation. So the amplifier should have a given gain and a given phase also. And in order to avoid the saturation of this amplifier, there is an automatic gain control circuit which permits to have a given amplitude at the output of the amplifier. All these functions are performed into the hybrid circuit. You can see on this page the schematics of these 2 boards. The first board with the hybrid here, and the second board which contains the PROM, which contains the coefficients of the polynomial functions which are used for the calibration of the sensor. The contents of the PROM is different for each sensor. So we can see effectively the temperature sensor, which is the Platinum 1K, as I suspected. This hybrid is supplied with voltages of plus 12 volts and minus 12 volts. The output is an open collector. This is this signal here, sensor frequency. As you can see, I have separated the sub-circuits of this hybrid. The first circuit closed to the substrate here corresponds to the automatic gain control and also the output stage in order to generate the square wave. The second one corresponds to the input amplifier and also a part of the gain control. And the last one on the top of the hybrid is the circuit for the temperature measurement. Actually, I have done the complete reverse engineering of this hybrid. Let's see in details each sub-circuit, and after that I will show you the complete schematics. This is the circuit for the temperature measurement. We have in the center here the die of an IC. We have 2 resistors array. So there is a common point in the middle here. These 2 points are connected together, and there is one resistor between the middle connection here and the top connection, and another one between the middle and the bottom connections. And there is another one here. It's difficult to see here, but this wire is connected between this signal and the right terminal of this resistor array. This point is connected to a 10 volts voltage reference. This point is connected to the ground here, so you can see several decoupling capacitors, one here, and one here. So this one is for the voltage reference, and this one is for the 12 volts power supply, which is this terminal here, connected to that point. And we can see that the 12 volts power supply is connected also to this point of the IC and also to this one, and we have the negative power supply minus 12 volts, which is connected to the substrate of the die. You have this capacitor which permits the decoupling of the minus 12 volts, which is also this terminal, and we can see that the minus 12 volts is connected in the middle here. This seems to be dual op-amp, the 747. In the 747 you have 2 positive power supplies, one for each op-amp. You can see that this die is symmetrical. So if you see the pinout of the 747, you have this point, which is the output of the first op-amp. You have the power supply, you have the inverting input here, the non-inverting input, the negative power supply. These are two resistors. You can see that this resistor is connected to the 10 volts reference voltage. The second one here is connected to the output of the temperature measurement. This one is connected also to the output, this point here. The inverting input is connected to the common point of these two resistors. This is an amplifier with an offset created by this resistor connected to the plus 10 volts power supply. This permits to have a negative offset, and the positive input of the second op-amp is connected to the output of the first op-amp. So the first op-amp is used as an amplifier. So we can see that the negative input is connected to the common point of this resistor array. This point is connected to the output of the op-amp, and the second point of the resistor array is connected to the ground. So this is an amplifier, and you can see that the non-inverting input, which is here, is connected to that point, and this point is connected to the platinum sensor. The thermistor is connected between that point and the ground, and you can see that you have another resistor here, which is connected to the plus 10 volts reference voltage. This is the input amplifier circuit. The input is here. This one is the drive, which is connected to the coils through the two 1K resistors. There is a die in the middle here. So this is obviously an op-amp. The negative power supply is the substrate of the die, which is connected to the minus 12 volt power supply. This line is the non-inverting input. This one, the inverting input. This is the power supply, plus 12 volts, and this is the output of the op-amp. The input voltage is here. It's connected to the non-inverting input of this op-amp. The output of this op-amp is connected to the drive signal through this resistor. I think the value is small, maybe 10 or 100 ohms or something like that. The negative input of the op-amp is connected to this terminal. Between this terminal and the drive there is an external resistor. The value is 10K. Between this point and the ground there is a variable resistor made with a JFET, which is on the left of this hybrid, which will be described just after. So the gain of the amplifier is defined by the ratio between this resistor and the variable resistor, which is between this point and the ground. There is also a capacitor connected between the negative input and the drive connection here. Let's have a look on the left side of this circuit. This is the left side of the amplifier circuit. The drive signal is here. We can see that we have a filter made by this capacitor, this resistor. This is the high pass filter, and there is another filter made by this resistor and this capacitor connected to ground. So this is a low pass filter. So there is a band pass filter, and the output of the filter is fed to another circuit we will see later, which is a comparator, which permits to give the square wave. We can see on the left here a JFET transistor. So this permits to have a variable gain amplifier. The source is connected to the ground. The drain here is connected through this external capacitor, the inverting input of the input amplifier op-amp. The gate of the JFET is connected to this point, which is the amplifier gain control through this resistor here. The DC voltage at this point permits to change the gain of the amplifier. The last circuit, the automatic gain control, we will see now. This is the output comparator circuit. The output of the bandpass filter is a signal here. I called this signal sine signal. The signal is fed to this IC. So this seems to be a comparator, but it can be also an op-amp. The pinout is standard. There is the negative power supply here, which is also the substrate of this die. The non-inverting input is that line. The inverting input is this one. This line is connected to the ground. It is difficult to see, but this is this line here. The output of this part is fed to this resistor. And this resistor is connected to the base of this thing, which is a bipolar transistor, NPN transistor actually. Between the base and the ground there is another resistor, this one. The collector is connected to this terminal, which is a frequency output. The emitter is connected to a particular ground. This prevents the injection of noise in the analog circuit, so I call this terminal the digital ground. The last part of the circuit is the automatic gain control. Let's have a look on this circuit, which is on the right of this hybrid. This is the automatic gain control circuit. The drive signal is here. This small part is a diode. The anode is here. The cathode is that line. The cathode is connected to this resistor. So this is an op-amp. This resistor is connected to the inverting input of this op-amp. And you can see that there is another resistor here, which is connected to another diode. This is the anode, and this is the cathode. And the cathode is connected to that point. This permits to define the amplitude. Actually, there is a current which flows through this diode, which permits rectifying of the AC signal through this resistor. This current flows also through this resistor, through this diode, and returns to that point, which is a negative voltage. There is also an external capacitor, which is connected between the inverting input and the output of this op-amp, which is that line here. There will be an error current which will flow into this capacitor. So this op-amp is an integrator. So this permits to integrate the error, and the output of this op-amp is fed to the gate of the GFET transistor. So the gain of the input amplifier will be automatically adjusted in order to have zero mean current flowing into the integrating capacitor. In that case, the current which flows into this resistor is identical to the current flowing into this one. So this permits to calculate the amplitude of the drive signal. At this point you have 0 volt. This diode permits to compensate the rectifying diode here. If there is a change of temperature, the voltage drop will be the same. So this permits to have something which is more or less insensitive to temperature. This is a common circuit which is used to regulate the amplitude of an AC voltage. So now let's see the complete schematic. This is the complete schematic diagram of the hybrid circuit. The sensor is on the left here. The input amplifier is here. The output of the amplifier is fed to the coils through these two resistors here. The gain is defined by this resistor and the variable resistor, which is the RDS of the GFET, which depends on the gate voltage. The output of the amplifier is fed to this filter. The output of the filter is fed to this comparator. The output of the comparator is fed to this transistor. At pin 8 of the hybrid, we have the open collector output. The drive voltage is regulated. The drive voltage is fed to the automatic gain control. This op-amp is an integrator. You can see the capacitor between the negative input and the output. The output is connected to the gate of this GFET. When the voltage is regulated, the mean current flowing through this resistor is the same as the current flowing through this one. If you suppose that the op-amp is not saturated, the voltage at the negative input here is 0 volt. Therefore, the peak voltage of the drive signal can be set by setting the voltage here at pin 14. This resistor actually defines the amplitude of the drive signal. The last circuit is the temperature measurement here, so there is nothing special. The platinum sensor here is connected between this terminal and the ground. This terminal is connected to 10 volt reference voltage through this resistor. There is an amplifier here. The gain is defined by the ratio of these two resistors. This one plus the ratio actually. The output voltage of this op-amp is fed to the second stage here. So this permits to center the value for a given temperature. That's all for the reverse engineering of this hybrid circuit. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.